So as just a quick update, I decided to go with locking hood latches. I had them on my TJ previously, and I really like them. Obviously, Jeeps have a security fail point, which is the hood, and people can break into it pretty easily. This is a cheap setup I got off of Amazon. It comes with traditional like safe lock style little tumblers. It came with 4 keys, 2 latches, all the little pieces that kind of space it out to make sure that the rubber sits in between the Jeep itself and the metal. I've installed one of them so you can kind of see what it is. This is the lower piece there. This mounts against. The one thing it should have is 2 pegs that come off of this so it stays aligned. Putting this installation on is actually kind of a pain in the butt. And that's the upper piece. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the OEM one. These are notoriously bad for a couple of reasons. Is one, you can just open someone's hood and steal their battery, which happens all the time. And then the other end of it is as these age, this is actually a rubber, like basically like a bungee cord almost material. But as they break down and become more brittle and stretch out, your hood has the ability to move up and down like this. That's part of the reason that Jeep added this air dam on the front of the vehicle, and it's specifically bad on the Rubicon models because what happens is there is a sway bar disconnect, which has like a mass that's up in here. It's a mechanical object that allows the sway bar to be disconnected, but it creates turbulence under the vehicle in the way of the air that's being pushed up and through the engine bay. And at highway speeds, lots of Jeep people experience hood flutter, where while you're driving down the highway, this little rubber band that's holding that on allows the hood to wiggle up against just the latch, which is the fail safe of it coming all the way open. But if you've ever had hood flutter, it is terrifying. So this is what the finished product looks like. It's nice and clean. It's an aluminum, rust-free. It comes with nice hardware. The thing I love especially about this hardware is the bolts that it comes with not only have the plastic insert, which make them lock bolts, or nuts rather, but it also uses the exact same size as the OEM ones. So the upper hood part has a 10 millimeter, or 2 of them, and the lower has a 13 millimeter. So then these are those same ones. So to do this job, you only need 2 sockets. The trick is this is kind of a pain of a project for what it's worth. So that just undoes there, and then it says a little hinge latch like that. Obviously, you want to get some soapy water and clean down your little surfaces. I still have some residue I got to remove there, but I just wanted to pop it apart to show you here. And this is the hardest part of it, is getting this one on because of getting in that little space there. The upper one, those 10 millimeter bolts pop right out. You do actually need an Allen key as well for the those nuts and bolts that go on the top piece. But those are pretty easy to do. But this one, because there's no real easy access to get in that little hole there for the 13 millimeter. And then once you do, you have to actually hold this still because it only uses 1 point of attachment. And this is the original, has the 1 point of attachment, but it has these 2 little fingers that hold it in place and 2 additional holes that are in there. So that one's a little bit tricky, but I just used one of these little 1/4 inch with an extension and a little universal elbow, so that worked fine for me getting it off. It's not torqued on there very hard, but all in all, it's probably 20 minutes worth of installation. This is if you don't have this tool or a small and similar set of extensions with bends like that, this will be a very difficult job to do. That is a very tight spot to get into, and as is the other side, as it's symmetrical. But otherwise, it's a pretty quick and easy job. So that's about it. That's the latest Jeep update. I do have 2,000 miles on the Milestar Patagonia tires, and they are running the beads inside them, which I couldn't recommend beads on tires more. Once you get to these kinds of sizes, it kind of reduces all of the turbulence you get when driving, but these things are fantastic. These are some of my favorite new tires that I've ever driven on. They do have some interesting specs about how they work and how you inflate them. There are a ton of videos on YouTube that explain that and the way that you keep them overinflated compared to what most large tires are to keep the crown higher. But yeah, Jeep is a continuing project forever.